Welcome, members of the Planning and Zoning Board. Thank you again for your service to the town of Surfside. As with each of our meetings, stay true to the mandate and responsibilities you have as members of this board. Utilize the extraordinary town staff available to you, our town manager, town attorneys, town planners, building department, and others.
At this time, anyone who wishes to speak should be sworn in. I would ask that you please stand if you intend to speak. Follow Madam Clerk as she administers the oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated.
Is it true that the garbage trucks are going to be going by the memorial?
So, I don't know if you have the site plan. If you look on the site plan, where the loading dock is located is on grade, on ground level, off of 88th Street. And the loading area is where the waste, garbage, recycling will be picked up from. It's also the location for large loading and unloading when people move in, move out, those kinds of services.
As part of the applicant, Graham Penn, Bercowdale, Fernandez, Larkin, Tapinas, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, here tonight representing the applicant, East Oceanside Development, which is owned by DAMAC. The former commission approved the resolution directing the manager to create a memorial park and pedestrian plaza on 88th Street. Guided by the administration, the design of this project has been completed in a manner consistent with that goal to provide as much access for the pedestrian on 80th Street and remove vehicular access and activity from 88th Street as much as we can. As to the loading and the back of house operation, we are fully enclosing the loading area here behind a roll-down door. So when this area is not in use, when in the limited periods where trucks have to come and drop or pick anything up, trash, etc., that is open, but then it's rolled down on all other times. So it's a very quiet area. And
James Galvin, 6420 Southwest 63rd Terrace. I represent the developer.
There is a way to redesign this site to accommodate loading on the site. And look, if you try and FDOT says no, I mean, that's at least you tried. But, you know, I think we really need to honor the intent of the ordinance along 88th Street to close it from Collins to the beach, except for emergency vehicles, not for garbage and loading.
But let me ask you, I mean, did you have this conversation with FDOT?
Yes, we have.
But they presented this plan to FDOT, right? So
No. The plan was adjusted and modified in collaboration with FDOT. This is at their request. This is at their instruction, the way it's currently designed.
When it comes to FDOT, we do have a follow-up meeting with them tomorrow, I do, but the conversations have all led that they do not want any loading and staging on Collins Avenue that would impact that arterial highway if there is a way to accommodate it on a secondary roadway. Additionally, any modifications to that intersection would require FDOT approval. So we already have non-concurrence for the full closure.
I'm not privy to how many plans, in fact, they worked with FDOT or how many plans were not available at the time they worked with FDOT. I don't know if they worked with FDOT before they even produced any plans. And maybe that's the question. You want
1 month for them to go back?
No, I think maybe the question is, was FDOT a conversation prior to the creation of what we are
The
viewing
answer
today?
is this plan is a result of our communication and coordination with FDOT. This is not something that was done in a box and then shown to them. This was done with some open communication with them. And this is the result of what has transpired from those conversations, from those meetings.
I am very hung up on the loading dock, and I don't think it's in compliance with town code based on the ordinance that was passed.
No or yes. I'm trying to say, how is it to respond to what you're asking? You're asking them to go back and for us to delay another month for them to find another creative way off of Collins, which FDOT already said, no, you cannot.
Whatever Surfside says regarding the local regulation doesn't supersede FDOT. I've been building around, and there are two agencies that it's impossible to fight with. It's fire and FDOT.
The ordinance states that it has to be in compliance with FDOT, which is who I think ultimately governs that.
I also don't think it's a month. I think that if you're going to do a full redesign here, that's going to take substantially longer than 1 month to get back into compliance.
But it sounds like a moot point.
It's a moot point anyway, but even
I don't
if we
think
were...
it's a moot point, guys. I'm also a developer. I also work with Miami-Dade Fire. I also work with FDOT. I know that it's possible to find a solution on this site that they can sign off on. Why not take
Please.
2, 3, 6 months? If it's 6 months, to do something that's right to... I understand that, but it's also costing our town the integrity of this memorial on 88th Street.
And if this is the way that it's intended and this is what God has given us, I feel we are very lucky.
We should not be discussing anything today, period. 88th Street was designed as a memorial. Placing the garbage facilities adjacent to the memorial is an act of malice and disrespect for all of us. It doesn't matter how luxury this new building may be. It's going to be always on top of a graveyard tainted with blood.